Hey guys, I'm Voylin, and in today's video I will answer the question: do you need to buy a data SIM card when traveling in Japan? So nowadays a lot of people like to stay connected with the internet for social media or other things, but whilst traveling, do you really need to stay connected all the time? Maybe it will be nice to disconnect a little bit when you're traveling. But a lot of people still like to be connected, so for those people, here's my advice on how to get free Wi-Fi throughout Japan and become a Wi-Fi hunter instead of a temple hunter. So you're going on a trip to Japan and you land at the airport. Well, where will you find Wi-Fi? Well, most airports in Japan have free Wi-Fi, which is at a reasonably fast. Don't expect to watch high definition videos without any stuttering, but most of the things that you will want to look up when you arrive in Japan, you'll be able to find out. So next up, you're at the airport and you need to go to your hotel. How do you get to your hotel? With trains. And surprisingly, well, for me kind of surprising, most train companies actually have some sort of free Wi-Fi. The JR, by example, the JR line, they have free Wi-Fi on their trains, on most of the trains. Not all of them, more of the older ones don't have that at all. And the ones that have free Wi-Fi on the trains, it can be kind of hit or miss. If the connection isn't great, switch cars, because some cars have a better connection. Most of the time when I'm going to work by JR, I just keep switching until I find like a decent connection. Kind of troublesome, but hey, it's free. And another one is a Nankai line. And Nankai has free Wi-Fi at certain stations, not on the train, at stations. I remember wanting to download a movie to watch at work because at my work during lunch break, like there's no free Wi-Fi at most of my workplaces. So I was like trying to download video. Yeah, station. Okay, download. Oh, station gone. 50%. Kind of a game to find Wi-Fi whilst riding the train. But if you want Wi-Fi, get off the train at the station, use the Wi-Fi and get the next train, because like you have trains every 10 minutes here. And then you arrive at your hotel and what do you have? Free Wi-Fi. Most hotels nowadays here in Japan have free Wi-Fi available, with most places having like very decent connection Wi-Fi, like very decent speeds. And then you decide, oh, let's go shopping by example. Well, most shopping centers also have free Wi-Fi available. And you don't want to go to shopping centers to like get Wi-Fi, well, go to convenience stores. They're convenient for a reason. You can get money at a low rate from the ATMs there. What else do you have? Well, basically everything that you desire, plus Wi-Fi. They have free Wi-Fi available at convenience stores, which makes them even more convenient. And whilst eating at restaurants, well, most of the restaurants here in Japan have Wi-Fi. Just to name a few, like Starbucks has free Wi-Fi's. Free Wi-Fi, and another chain that I directly think of that has free Wi-Fi is McDonald's. I don't like McDonald's, I never eat there, but at least they have free Wi-Fi. So if you're standing outside, you can use their Wi-Fi. And then there is this thing. I'm not certain in how many cities this is, but here in Osaka, at most places, like whilst walking around the streets, you will have Osaka free Wi-Fi. On top of that, you also have like Wi-Fi points for, especially for tourists. So if you can prove that you're a tourist, you can have access to that free Wi-Fi, which is just kind of amazing. Like everywhere where you go, except for when you go to like the more Inaka side. How's it called in English again? I need to look this up. Inaka. I know the. Well, of course I know the meaning in Japanese. I don't know the meaning in. Countryside. If you go more towards the countryside, getting Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi is a little bit more difficult. And if you want to have some internet Wi-Fi available and still see some part of the culture, go to an internet cafe. They're almost everywhere in Japan. They have free drinks most of the time, sometimes even free soft cream. They have showers available. If you stay there for like a certain amount of time, you can even get a free shower at some places. If you want to travel quickly in Japan without like the problem like of reserving a hotel and all those kind of things, stay at internet cafes. Most of the time their rate is not that much more expensive than hotels. You have less luxury, but free drinks and everything. So, and also free books if you're into like trying to learn how to read Japanese. But if you can read Japanese, then it's kind of a nice place to be. Now the problems with free Wi-Fi is most of the time, like I said before, slow connection, and sometimes you get disconnected every 5 seconds. And there's also the problem of security, and they're not really secure. So is using free Wi-Fi worth it? For me it is, because it's free. I don't expect like very fast internet connection like I have my fiber at home, but it does the job for the things that I need. And about the security, well, I use double authentication like on every possible website. And I also don't do online banking for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't feel secure doing anything money related on my phone. Plus also, Japanese banks have very terrible applications and websites for online banking. It's like, I try to use online banking and I just go to the bank the whole time to do all the business because I don't trust their site, and their site is garbage. But this is something like a lot of companies really, like the companies selling data SIMs and pocket Wi-Fi are like very into like, oh you know, it's not safe to use a free Wi-Fi, buy this thing. But these things, these data SIM cards are so overpriced for the amount of data you get, and there's pocket Wi-Fi's as well. Like if you're traveling in a big group and everybody wants to stay like connected all the time a little bit because you're traveling in a group anyway, get a pocket Wi-Fi, but most of the time you really don't need it. Like, why would you need Wi-Fi when traveling? For finding your way? Well, hey, Google Maps has a way that you can download offline map data, so that's not a problem. How about translating things? Google Translate also has an option to download the Japanese language and Japanese English, and download English. So you can translate everything freely, and most of the time you will want to translate things in a restaurant. Well, like I said before, most restaurants have Wi-Fi. So, in my opinion, there's not really any reason to get a data SIM card or a pocket Wi-Fi device. Like I had a data SIM card once and I ended up not really using it because free Wi-Fi is available everywhere and it's less expensive than the data SIM card that I bought. So, but if you're the kind of person who buys a data SIM card or a pocket Wi-Fi thing when traveling in Japan, please let me know in the comments below why. Like, I'm kind of having a difficult time trying to figure out why you would want to buy those things for traveling in Japan. You're traveling, try to stay disconnected, I think. So if you're the kind of person who buys those things, please let me know in the comments below. And hey, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a lot of luck finding free Wi-Fi. It's not that difficult. Bye bye, Wi-Fi hunters.